How do you cherry pick proof sets and identify the Cameo and Deep Cameo coins in those sets? And we're talking about sets from the 60s and back. Now, there are other proof sets in the 70s. If they have Cameo in a certain grade, they can be worth money. But we're talking about 1964 all the way back to, let's go back to maybe the 50s. Because before that, and even in the 50s and 51, it's very difficult to find cameos in those sets. And there's not as many sets because they're more rare. So you want to look at the most populated sets, which would be in the 60s and the late 50s. Now, there are people doing this, so it's harder to do now than it's ever been before. But if you ever get a chance to find some sets that's not been cherry picked, and believe me, even if you buy them from a dealer, it doesn't mean they've been cherry picked. And that's not even mentioning the varieties you possibly could find. So you want to look for double dies too in those. But let's stick with the Cameo and Deep Cameo. But first, we're going to show and reveal which one of these was actually Cameo. Well, we're going to look at some Deep Cameo and Cameo coins, and we're going to look at some values of these, because you can really hit the lottery if you get lucky enough. But believe me, most of the time you're probably going to be disappointed, as you'll see in this video. But hey, I take the chance. I've been able to do it. I actually cherry picked a Cameo, Deep Cameo one time, and made a little bit of money on it. So it can be done, but it's just not as easy as it used to be. So let's get started. So here are the two coins that I had the contest with. And here's number one, and here's number two. And as was pointed out by several people in the comments, I showed the certification number on the other side. The whole idea of the contest was just to get the first 5 guesses so that I could give out a prize. So anyway, both these coins are comparable. Now, depending on the lighting, you can make coins look more Deep Cameo than they are. And you see that a lot. So you have to be careful for that whenever you're looking for Cameo coins and Deep Cameo coins, let's say graded on eBay or other places, because it can definitely affect the way it looks by doing this or this. You can brighten it out. So one of the things that I didn't do was wasn't up close with these. So what we're going to do, we're going to reveal, because number one was the Cameo, okay, and number two was the Proof 68. So when you look at both of these coins, and the reason I picked both of them is because they're almost identical. It appears to me that there are some areas in the bust that is not as Cameo as the 1962. Now, I think it's kind of splitting hairs myself. Let me get it a little bit closer here. When you're looking in the recesses of the hair, and I think it's kind of nitpicking, but that's just the way it is, especially when it comes to these common ones. When you look at the reverse, now a Cameo coin, you want to be able to see it straight on. If you have to angle it, then it's not going to be Cameo. I can guarantee you that. So remember that. When you have a coin that you think looks Cameo and it's not Cameo straight on, and you have to angle it to see it, then you're not going to get Cameo for that coin. Also, it has to be Cameo on both sides. And here's the example of the 68 that's not Cameo. You can see in the recesses of the hair and a little bit in the jawline that straight on there are some areas that it's a little bit weaker. I still think it's nitpicking. I still think that it's Cameo. To me, it's just so difficult to find them with the nice frosty devices as far as the design's concerned. And then here's the reverse. There's really not a difference in the reverse. Like I said, you can look at these all day long and say, well, this is not because of that, and this is that because of that. But anyway, I wanted to address a couple of things too. Both of them are proofs. See, the Cameo designation is just the die finish. Proof is a die finish. Proof is not considered a grade, because the coin was actually struck as a proof, because the die was specially prepared and the coins were often struck more than once and handled differently. So anyways, let's take a look at some other coins, and I'm going to show you some more quarters since we're looking at quarters here. But I do have some cameos too, some Proof 67 cameos by NGC, and here's the obverse of this one, and here's the reverse. And like I said, you're looking for a straight on. You've got to be able to see it straight onto the coin, not at an angle.
That's one of the things that people seem to overlook or maybe don't know. Also, I mean, it comes down to wishful thinking. I believe you see a little Cameo and you're like, oh man, it's got to be Cameo. It's rare in Cameo. But if you, like I said, you got to look at it with, not at an angle. Also, you can have a tip of the wing in this area or part of the head that won't have the Cameo on it, and they won't give you the designation on that one. This one has a little bit of toning. I've noticed something too, and sometimes in proof sets, tone coins, they can often be at least Cameo or look like they're Cameo. I remove really unsightly toning on them. Sometimes you can't remove it. Sometimes they're just damaged beyond repair. Trying to restore them sometimes, but it doesn't always work. I know in the 60 sets, they can get some splotchiness to them. That plastic really reacts on that cello. Both of them are Proof 67. Like I said, they don't look a whole lot different from what we were seeing there. So let's take a look over here at Washington Quarters. And we're looking at the proofs. Like I said, I come over here to PCGS. These coins tend to sell for more in a PCGS holder. So if you're going to send them off, I would recommend PCGS. NGC is fine, but they tend to be worth a little bit less. But when you're looking through these sets, and let's get to the 50s here, because the sets become more populated. They have a higher mintage. But you can see how rare they are when you start getting into some of these grades, these deep cam and Cameo. The regular proofs have some value to them, but not until really maybe 68 in some of them. But it just depends on the year. And some of them are more rare with Cameo than others. And deep Cameo. Deep Cameo is one of them that's very, very difficult. But I will say this, you will get disappointed all the time trying to do this. There's people that do this all the time. And some of them even do it part of their living. I've known some dealers who buy the largest lots of proof sets they can possibly buy. And like I said, here's 59 and DCAM and 69. Look at that price, $13,000. So as you can see, it's something that people definitely look for. So we're going to take a look at a couple cents that I have. Here's one that's a Cameo. It's a 67, 1962. And here's the reverse. The holder has some scratching on it. The reverse of a Lincoln cent is very difficult to identify as a Cameo or not, because a lot of them will look Cameo because of the fact that there's a lot of reflectivity in the open areas on the back. The bust is always easier to identify the Cameo. And we also have a 67 small date. Now this one here is not a Cameo. And the reason, inside the neck you can see, and straight on, you can see some areas that are just too reflective. They don't have enough frosty devices on it, not enough of the etched die. And then there's the reverse. Not a whole lot of difference in the reverse than the other one, but you can definitely see it on the obverse. But it's a nice coin nonetheless. Now when you're looking at values for these, you're looking these up. You've got the Wheats. That was a memorial, so we can look down at the memorial. And you can see the large date and a small date here and how much they are in the DCAM. If you can find them in the DCAM or even the Cameo in the higher grades, and that's the thing, you don't know if you're going to get the 68. Proofs are very difficult to grade, and I think I don't even think sometimes the grading companies even have a grasp on it, because it's going to depend on contact marks, how well it's struck, and there's all kinds of little details. It's one of the things that I need to study myself. I like to study graded proofs. I've got a bunch of them I bought here, and I'm looking through them, and I'm trying to find, but it's very difficult to see differences from one proof to the next. I mean, what was it? Just a little tiny dot here or a little tiny abrasion here. It really is. It's very difficult. But you can see there's some value in these if you can find them, mainly in the DCAM and from 1960 and back. But even some of those are not, a lot of money. But in the 59 they are. 59 is a year that you want to find a DCAM and get it in a higher grade, because they're known for being in a higher grade, but not DCAM. So that's one thing to look for. And also, here's the Wheats, and we're going to go up to the 50s here. You can see how much the values are in a Cameo. And you just come over here to PCGS, look through your sets. If you got one, you're just going to have to take that chance. No one can really tell you, hey, yeah, you should do that. That's definitely a Cameo. I couldn't do it. I'm not that good. I just see too much inconsistency to be able to tell someone, hey, your coin's a Cameo, and I'm 100% sure. So Here's some more, and we're going to go look at the Jefferson Nickels now. And this one here is a Cameo. It's a Proof 68, 1955. And what I'm going to do as we're doing this, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the values over on PCGS of this coin. And I just kind of give you an idea what you do when you're looking at your coins and your proof sets and things like that. So here we have the nickels. And remember to go to the proof. There's tabs up here at the top, and there's tabs for the grades too. So we want to look at 1955, and we're looking at a Cameo, and it graded 68. So this coin's $110. If you knew for sure you was getting that grade for this coin, it would be worth sending off if you only paid, $35 for the proof set. Or, well, it'd be 55, so you paid more than that for the proof set as a 55. But basically $100 for the proof set or so. So that's the Proof Cameo on the nickel there, and then here's a reverse. And like I said, we're looking at video here through plastic, so it is kind of difficult to see. And then here is another 68 Cameo, 1963. It's a different year, and we can take a look at what those values are for these. And scroll down to the Cameo, and we're looking at a 68. It's $40. So you can see the difference here. I mean, it's really not. It's hard to send these off. I really don't mess with it much because it's not always economical to send off sets like this unless you just want to take your chance and try to get the 69 or even the 70. I mean, look at that. 1963 DCAM Jefferson nickel, $15,000. Yeah, that's I didn't even check that before. I didn't even realize there was a 70 graded in 63. Huh. So I learned something new doing the video here. So I hope you all did too. So anyways, we're going to look at dimes now. We have some dimes. And this one here, 1956, Proof 67 star. Because the obverse looks almost DCAM or Cameo, and the reverse is not. So we can take a look at dime values, and we'll do that with the proofs. So since we have a 1960 or 1956 here, we'll take a look at the 1956 values. And I'm looking at PCGS, but NGC values for these is going to be different. I meant to mention that. Definitely NGC values are different. They're a little bit less for the most part. Some of them are the same, but most of them are less because I had the appraisers to buy them. So this here it's a 67, so it's $30, and you have the star. I mean, it's probably going to be worth around the $30 range. I mean, it's a nice coin. Actually, I mean, to me, it's worth $30. It's in a holder. It's graded. Then you have this one here, and it's actually a Cameo 67, 1962. And as you can see, these are not worth a lot of money in the Cameo. They're just not. I think when we look over at the price guide in the 62, and I think it's a graded 67 Cameo. See what I mean? It's just really, basically $20. It's not a whole lot of money.
So a lot of these were probably part of a bulk submission, because if you did that, then the fees are basically $6 to $12, so it would be worth it then.
That's definitely got a lot of Cameo to it. And look at the reverse, and that's the difference in that one and this one that got the star. The reverse is just not Cameo, so you want to do it straight on. See the difference? And then we have one more that's just a star. It didn't get the Cameo designation because of the reverse. As you can see, it's a 61. And we can turn it over and look at the reverse. And that's what I'm saying. Straight on, you can see it's just not Cameo. Then we're going to look at some Franklin halves that I have. We're going to go through the random dates. Here's a 59. And man, I'll tell you what, this one is definitely a really nice coin. And what I'm going to do, we're going to take a look at the 59 Proof Cameo value here, because I mean, it's not a Cameo coin, but if it obtained Cameo, I mean, it's pretty rare. So here's 59, and it graded 67. And if it graded Cameo, we're talking $650 versus what it's worth at basically $60. And when you're looking at this coin, I mean, we're looking at an obverse that looks Cameo to me. And you flip it over, but the reverse just doesn't quite cut it. Straight on, there's just too much reflectivity in the bell. It just doesn't cut it. But I'll tell you what, that's a nice coin. But even at that, is it really a Proof 68? I mean, that's the other thing. It's just very difficult to tell some of this. Here's another one. We're just going to kind of look at some nice ones that have some Cameo to them. And actually what I'm going to do, probably put some sets together and sell them as sets on the website. This is a Type 2. As you know, Type 2 you can identify by the eagle. By the eagle, see the lines. The Type 1 has really weak lines in that area. If we can see it really close, but you can see it has stronger lines. Now, see it's not Cameo there, but the Type 1 is more rare, and we can take a look at the value of that. But that's one of the other things you want to look for in a set, a proof set, would be the Type 1. So you can see the value, see the difference. This one here being the Type 2, 67, and come down to $85 basically retail for it. Then we have some more here we'll take a look at. When it comes to the Franklin, some of these can be really rare. 1955, it's definitely just a nice coin, not a Cameo or anything like that, not a star. But your 55, just regular 67, is $115. So that's worth looking for. That would probably be worth grading if you bought it and you thought it was going to get a 67. But, you know, like I said, these 55 and back, 54 and all, they start getting a little more value if you're not, especially Type 1, 56 and then back. But then we have a 1962 Proof 67. It has a little bit of a Cameo appearance to it, which I like it. I like it better than just a regular. And the reverse doesn't much, but the reverse doesn't have much of a Cameo to it. But I do like the Franklins when they have the Cameo on them. Really nice. Then we have the 1960 Proof 67. To me, this has, and what I don't understand about this is we saw the star designation on some dimes that had a Cameo appearance like this on the obverse, but not on the reverse. We just saw that. Why wouldn't this one get a star? Why didn't it get Cameo? As you can see, straight on, even though you could probably argue that right here might be a little weak, but really when you get it in the light, like put it in the same light as the obverse, you're seeing similar area. I mean, it just looks like a Cameo to me. So it didn't even get star, didn't even get Cameo. And to me, I think this one's a grading fail right here. And that's just my opinion on it, but I do honestly feel that way. That is a nice coin. Should have got Cameo or at least a star on it. Here's another one. It's a 1962. Let me get back here. And it graded Proof 67. Did not get a Cameo designation, which I'm thinking the reverse, I can understand that because straight on the reverse doesn't really have it. You can put it in the light, but yeah, the lower part of the bell just doesn't have it.
So there you have it. There's a bunch of proof coins here. I went through them, and hopefully maybe you can find you a Cameo or a deep Cameo and send it off for grading and get that 67 or 68 Cameo. I wish you all the luck in the world. I personally can't tell you that. You have to just try it. You have to take your 10 best coins and just take a shot and see if you can make it. If you want to go ANACS, ANAX, however you want to say it, but you can send it to them, 10 for 10 if they still have that deal, and just see how well you do. They're not worth as much in an Annex holder, but if they look the grade and they look like they're Cameo, deep Cameo, you can get a good value out of them. And it's a lot cheaper to do it that way, and you don't need a membership. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you. And like I said, all the people that I sent a comment on and the comments for the contest yesterday, please send me your mailing address. I want to send those prizes out to everybody. I want to do these contests so that, you know, I can kind of pay it forward a little with everybody. I want to give some things away. So also some of you regulars, look for some, you know, gifts in your orders because it's December and I'm doing this coin giveaway thing that I had that live video about December 18th. I'm probably going to open that day and I want to be in here. I'd like to give away some things, maybe put some rolls of coins at the bank, maybe some wheat rolls and something like that. I don't know, maybe mix in a couple silver coins. Just want to try to do my part, put some things back into circulation so that it's exciting for people. So don't forget that. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, subscribe, and have a great day.